Well, I guess, Guy, to kind of start with, I'd love to know your connection to Dinesh and how you guys first got connected, because you guys started with the short films in Search of America. I mean, you guys have been working with each other for years now, decades. How did you guys first connect?
Um, I actually had a vision about making films about the heart in 2000. And I'd been working on it ever since. But I met Danish in 2014.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we just had this thought. He had a dream to bring cinema back to Kashmir because there are no more theaters there anymore. He wanted to develop that, and I'm very interested in social issues, and I have my own personal particular love affair with Kashmir. I spent many years growing up there. So we collaborated and came up with the story and the screenplay, and then proceeded on how we were going to get the funds to do it. So it has been quite a trek since 2015 to get it done. We actually just about finished beginning of this year. And now the movie is doing the festival rounds. So we did In Search of America, Inshallah, which was shown in about 22 countries, and China too.
Yeah. Which is not easy.
No, and at the Cannes Short Corner. That was very good for us.
Yeah.
So we had a tremendous amount of response for that, and that was a social issue. So we knew that was well received. And then we went on to do First Love, which is a very short film, but just an amazing arc that came in 7 minutes. And then Half Widow just took over from there. So it's been a passionate, courageous, shall I say, journey to achieve this.
Can we talk about the title? I mean, the significance of that word. I mean, it's not just a title of a film. It's a group of people. It's basically, and it's not just in Kashmir. I mean, I think Syrians use it, Afghans use it.
Yes.
Can you just explain the meaning behind it?
Personally, I think that is sort of where Kashmir stands today. It is a difficult situation, and the half widows are a byproduct of that. I would almost put a label on the whole situation there as half widow, you know. So it's very touching to think that a tragedy can occur that doesn't have anything to do with you, and you have no control over it, and you're just a local person living a normal life. We all want that, a safe home, people we love, family, closeness, and overnight it can just disappear. And then what is life all about? Because that is what defines you. So there are several thousand of these half widows, and we have given many new perspectives in the film that they might consider on how to come out of the tragedy and how to take charge of their life again, and also for them not to be marginalized, but to be absorbed by family support back into the culture. It's very important.
I know governments have tried to alleviate it by making simple rules like the 4-year rule, for instance, where they can remarry after 4 years. But I mean, like you said, it's not enough. It's not making an impact, and it does seem like in the cultures that are the half widows are most prevalent, women and children still are secondary to the whole conflicts that are going on. I think Half Widow shows that. What was it like teaming up with, I mean, APDP, the Displaced Persons Organization? But this is more than just a film, I think. I think it's trying to make something of change. That's got to be special. Like you said, when you got into making films, it's from the heart, but hopefully out to other people.
Yeah. I must stress that this is not a true story. It is a story. It is a perspective. And it was very moving to see the APDP organization and what they are doing. And we also felt that we must put out clearly what was emerging in our heart about the situation. There are many perspectives on which to approach this. Several of these women are illiterate. So for them to now know how they're going to support their children or their households, or what would be the meaning of their life, because they're defined by their status of being married, was a major task. How was that going to happen? And as we followed our hearts into writing the story, some solutions naturally emerged. It may not be for everyone, but worth considering. That life is precious, and one does live on. And even though there are situations that we understand or don't understand, certainly didn't create, but in that situation, how does the woman feed her children, find her own sanity, and keep some sense of balance where life can be stabilized?
The actress that plays Neela, the main half-widow, she's become kind of almost an image of the valley itself. I mean, this is third or fourth film we've seen her in, and dealing with that particular part of the world. What did it mean for you guys to get her involved? And she's brilliant. She's wonderful in this film.
She is brilliant. And I must mention the other two also, her brother Shanavaz and her husband, Mir Sarwar, all brilliant actors, and they gave it their best. What's really special about our film is that we went for local artists. And we created a team of people that have lived through the situation there. All of it, the beauty, the difficulties, the struggles, the camaraderie, all of it. And it was just such an authentic experience, from putting together the music to the story and portraying it in its realness, that the crew broke down often because they had lived through it. And certainly she's had her own trials with her family and what is going on over there. And we support her, we appreciate her, we really appreciated what she did for Half Widow, and she truly gave it her all. That is very evident in the film when you watch it.
You bring up the music. I was blown away by the amount of music we have in the film, how it intermingles with the story. I think the soundtrack's wonderful, but as you say, it's from that area. You actually have Kashmiris that are there. What did it mean to have so much music in the film that's impactful? I think it's beautiful. It's a whole nother element to the film I didn't even expect going in.
Yeah. You know, I learned that Kashmir actually means the rivers that flow through the mountains. And it has a serenity that is just its own. And the music is a flow that's just part of that. Mehmet, who sings, the female voice in there that sings, she's from there. But what's really precious is Noor Muhammad with his big instrument. He made it himself. It's a 16-stringed instrument. He actually walks around the streets of Srinagar singing, calling back the hearts of people.
Wow.
And so Danish was able to capture that just the way it is. Not manufactured, but there are local people with that flair that are out on the streets doing it. And it was very important to portray the music and the beauty that exists there, that is untarnished, that is not destructible. It lives in the heart of the people. Now, also in that track, Danish did bring in Alokananda Dasgupta, who I think did her music degree in Canada. And there are some piano pieces in the background that are also outstanding, and they blend in well with the Kashmiri music.
Talk about the beauty of that area. I don't think people realize how beautiful it is. I mean, it's one of the prettiest places on earth.
Prettiest places on earth. Actually, I don't know if this is accurate, but I do remember hearing that the Swiss people say, if you want us to really do tourism, give us Kashmir. I can understand that, because I've been to both places, and it's a one-of-a-kind paradise of its own.
Is it sad that that's a place of such conflict, and has been for, decades now? It's almost that when we think of Kashmir, we think of conflict, and it's not known for the beauty. It's known for war, basically. That's got to be a weird irony to the whole beauty of the area.
Yes, it's a very striking contrast. I personally have lived in many different parts of India, so I've seen all kinds of conflict in different parts of India. So I just see it as Kashmir conflict, but not that the rest doesn't have conflict. It does have its own kind of conflict. But I do feel that what is fundamental to all of these situations is everyone wants a place called home that's safe. No, we all want that fundamental safety that makes us live from our heart. No, so that part, I wish that would come back there, because it would complete the beautiful picture. Yeah.
You guys have been able to showcase this in a couple of different major festivals. I mean, I know you guys were up in New Jersey, for instance. Can you talk about the reactions of people who've seen it? What's touched you about people's maybe first interaction with this part of the world, even, or people who or have gotten out of there but have been able to retouch their heritage by seeing it? I mean, I know there's a lot of refugees outside of the area. That's got to be something special for showcasing it across the country. And hopefully we'll have that here in Dallas with it, too.
Yes, we're very excited to be here in Dallas. And the response and the feeling here is amazing about the movie. So the moment I walked in, people have been mentioning Half Widow, and it touches me very much. The response has been very touching. In New Jersey, we won Best Film, and we've also won 3 awards since. The show started, and still there was a line outside the door, and the phones were ringing, and emails were coming in for more and more people that wanted to come. We've had requests from all over the world to show the film. And what we wanted is happening, that it's not a hyped film, it's touching the hearts of people. That was our aim. And that is our contribution to world peace. Because if we know more about each other, we'll stop fighting. No?
I've got to ask, as far as showcasing around the world, you guys use Urdu in the film. What made you go with that decision? Because I think it impacts the film on one level in the film, but it obviously impacts it on distribution, how to get the film out. I mean, I think it opens doors. What made it use Urdu, and kind of go over that part of the decision? I think that was a really important part of this film, is you guys have expanded it just by making that choice alone.
Yes, that is actually what they speak there. They speak Kashmiri and they speak Urdu, and it's a blend. And so we had people say, why didn't you make it just in Kashmiri or just in Urdu? But we had to keep with what was actually happening. You know, it is a perfect blend of being able to express themselves. I personally find the Kashmiri language very hard. I think it's got some Persian tones in it, some Arabic tones in it, some Urdu tones in it, and I find it grammatically tough to understand. But I grew up with Urdu, so I understand that part, but the blend is perfect because that's actually what's happening over there.
Where do you hope the film goes from here? What are the options? Where else will Half Widow go?
We're in a very fortunate situation because we are being approached for distribution. I have no doubt that it will go worldwide. It's a very changing idea of how films are being streamed now. So we're trying to study that situation to see how we can get it to have maximum exposure. But digital, for sure, that'll be last. But we are planning a theatrical release.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, just getting through the festival rounds, because fortunately we just keep getting accepted in so many. So that is to be given its flow.
We talked about the beauty of the film, the cinematography. The DP is one of, he's also from LA too, I think, that area. It's striking to see the film on the big screen. Can you talk about the first time you got to see the final product once it was put on the screen? What did that mean to you? I mean, you guys have dealt with this for a couple of years now, but when you first put it up on screen, what did that mean to you? And that must have been just beautiful to see that it's gorgeous.
I think our DP is exceptional. Antonio Cisneros has done just an amazing job. I remember telling Danish when we finally saw it on the screen that what we wrote has been conveyed perfectly. Because I think that's a writer's dilemma of whether it will actually translate the same way on the screen. It's perfect.
This is, for the festival, the first film from the region, Kashmir. Can you talk about, I don't know how to ask the question, but for us, it's fresh, it's new. When you go to festivals, does it feel like you're showcasing something new that people may not have seen or know about? I mean, is there still that element, or is it a subject matter that has been showcased enough where people do already have a connection to it? Or are you finding a meld of both?
No, there aren't really any Kashmiri films like that, and nothing with this kind of authenticity. I think they can tend to bring in big stars and all, but it shows that they're not Kashmiri. So we've had an amazing response about the realness of the film. And it's very inclusive of people. I like that you like it so much. I feel that you felt the film. And that's kind of the response we get, and we're very teary-eyed about that because it translated well. And using Kashmir as a metaphor for universally people's hearts. If we can convey it in such a difficult situation, then we can convey that in a bigger way too. I'm very partial to social issues, and I'm writing films geared towards social issues that need to be addressed. So for me, it was very important that this does come across where people can understand it and carry it in their hearts. At some of the few private screenings that we needed to do, people just wanted to come back again and again. And also, we also found that after the film, it was hard for them to just leave and go. They wanted to linger. They wanted to stay. And very often, 2.5 hours, we'd have to get a separate room where everyone could just be together because they needed to just feel what they were feeling in their hearts. So it has had far-reaching effect. And people have it on their list to bring their friends, which is unsolicited from our part, but they call us to let us know that. As a filmmaker, we couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, almost. I mean, I'm not a woman. I don't have children. I've never had anything ripped from me like this. But I almost felt a catharsis in getting through the film, and seeing her journey. I connected with that. What does that mean, though, that people are having their own catharsis watching this film? They are themselves overcoming their viewpoint of it. I mean, that's got to be something special. You don't see that in every film, the ability to touch people that way. That's got to be amazing. I don't think anyone would have anticipated that.
Well, you don't linger in the tragedy. And I don't want to give away the story, but you actually come out happy. I had people come over who've had their children go through drugs and alcohol, and they say that's a different kind of war. It's not very different. You still go through all the ravages of your family being torn apart. It still feels like intense tragedy. It can drag on for years. And I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, there's just so much the heart can take. No, so we can personalize it to something in a certain region or land, but people are experiencing tremendous turmoil and upheaval in their daily lives. And how does the heart stabilize? How does it live on? How does it find meaning in all of this? There's still a life to be lived. You can't be frozen in that place. You still have to live on, right?
How much have you changed as a writer and as a person because of these last few years?
Tremendously. I feel a silence in my soul when I hear people's response, and I know we're on the right track with this. These are very important films to be made, and if I may say so myself, any filmmakers out there that have the courage to give voice to the people in an artistic way that's genuine with the bittersweetness that exists in life, I hope you have the courage to do it, because it really makes a difference. And it definitely rips you apart. It was worth it all the way. Worth it all the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's kind of a perfect way to close it out. Is there any websites or anything we can follow the film? I mean, Half Widow, anything we can keep a track of and keep, watch of where you guys are going with the film?
We don't have a website. We do have a Facebook page, Half Widow. We do update and give all the festivals and what's happening, and we have a growing number of people on it, but also we will be putting on the distribution channels for the main public to be able to watch it.
Well, I wish you guys the best. I hope this gets distributed everywhere, and thank you for bringing it here to Dallas. I know a lot of people are going to be really not just moved but amazed by it, and I think the visuals alone, I think, are something of the prettiest things I've seen at the festival in a long time. So thank you guys for coming out to the festival.
Thank you for watching it. Thank you for a heartfelt interview. I really felt I got to express myself. I'm grateful to you for this chance. Thank you.